And here now with reactions, senior market strategist and CEO at Market Rebellion, Mark Lopresti, along with former Trump National Security Council Chief of Staff, former CIA analyst, and the vice chairman of the America First Policy Institute, Fred Fleitz, and the president of Strellmark, LLC, Hillary Fordwich. Hillary, we understand now that, everyone's kind of settling in, trying to figure all of this out, but say those 4 weeks come, then what? What is President Trump's, I'm going to say, mid to long game here before Americans, those who voted for him, start to lose faith?
Well, let's hope people don't lose faith. But I think a lot of Americans are going to take umbrage when they hear that one of the Chinese trade representatives in Hong Kong actually said that American peasants are going to wail in front of 5,000 years of Chinese culture. So I think their war of words is rather nasty, actually. And I hope President Trump doesn't get too irate about that. But what is he going to do? I think that he's standing firm, which is really important. I think what's more important in the business world is people are sort of beginning to not just panic, but people aren't sure what to do. In the business community, I will tell you that I'm seeing webinars from law firms and consulting firms called things like terrified of tariffs and markets in turmoil due to tariffs. So I think there's a lot of exasperation going on in the business community. What President Trump needs to do is to stay calm. The Dutch trade minister actually said that. He said, let's just all keep calm. The only people that get hurt on a roller coaster ride are the people that try to jump off. So I have faith that President Trump will stay the course, and eventually the Chinese, like all the other countries, will capitulate. Why? Because we buy 5 times more goods from them than they do from us. They need us.
Fred, I think at the end of the day, bringing more industry back to the United States, which is the ultimate goal here. I mean, it's national security. You're talking about pharmaceuticals, steel, things you need to have a military.
These factors have left because of unfair trade, because other nations have put tariffs on our exports, and we didn't do the same to them. So reciprocal trade is absolutely fair. But it's on a different level from China because the efforts to exploit trade and to steal trade secrets is so intense. This is called mercantilism. China is not a partner. It is not a competitor. It is an adversary, both in national security and in economics. That's why there are real calls to decouple from China, because we simply can't trade with it fairly.
Fred, while we have you, I do want to ask you about this. The Iran nuke talks, of course, happened over the weekend. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff posted this about the terms of the initial deal. Quote, a deal with Iran will only be completed if it is a Trump deal. Any final arrangement must set a framework for peace, stability, and prosperity in the Middle East, meaning that Iran must stop and eliminate its nuclear enrichment and weaponization program. It is imperative for the world that we create a tough, fair deal that will endure, and that is what President Trump has asked me to do. Fred, we had General Wesley Clark on just moments ago, and he said, and also Ambassador Kurt Volker, both of them basically said you have to be very clear about the expectations and what we want and what we expect in this deal. Do you think that'll be enough to push it over the finish line?
I was pleased Ambassador Witkoff tweeted that. He said on Hannity last night that the Trump administration might let Iran enrich 3.67% uranium-235. That was the bad deal that the Obama administration made. But look, Witkoff has clarified there could be no uranium enrichment in a nuclear deal because uranium enrichment, even at reactor grade level, can be easily made into weapons grade fuel in just a few weeks, even faster now, because Iran's enrichment process has improved so much. So this is a great tweet by Witkoff. It shows he understands what needs to be done. Iran's nuclear infrastructure has to end, and its enriched uranium has to be sent out of the country.
All right, got to leave it there. Mark, Fred, Hillary, always great to have you on.
Thank you, Bob. Bye, Katrina.